Hello everyone, this is Jebro. Once again, a build coming to you in Guild Wars 2. Yes, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Also chuck a thumbs up, which is the same as a like. And even check out the Patreon, where videos like this are up on Patreon 2 days early for the $5 tier. Otherwise, you can just come and join us on maybe Twitch. You want to chuck a sub on there, or even donate to support the channel, support me as I'm in grad school and all the things. So I can continue what I'm doing, and I've been doing that well, and your support is massively appreciated. We've had a couple more people join us on Patreon recently, so welcome to you as well. Thank you very much for continuing to support me. I really do appreciate it, everyone. Hope you're well, staying safe. And I know that a lot of you are obviously going to be affected a lot by what's going on with COVID and all of the things at the moment, including protests all around the world. And I hope you're good and you're doing what you can, and you're educating yourself, and you're being good, respectful, and thinking about other people and being inclusive of everyone you possibly can. Let's go into the build. And thanks for listening to that little bit before we start doing the things. Engineered. So this build is a Holosmith, grenade Holosmith. Now, a ton of people have been playing kind of variations of this build and looking at explosives, Alchemy and Holosmith, and then it came out during, I believe this came out during Mighty Teapot's monthly big tournament, which happened recently, which was very good apparently. I need to go and have a look at a few more games myself, and even the games where this was played, but this build is on godsofpvp.net. Is one of the main website for Guild Wars 2 builds in PvP, as well as Meta Battle. Two very good websites. So I would advise go there and have a look at these builds as well. Sometimes they offer a little bit more information. This one's gone up more recently, so there's not much description right now, but there undoubtedly will be in the near future. It's got Berserkers. It's got Revenant. Rune right there. It's got sword, it's got shield, it's got intelligence, and it's got energy on the sigils. You also see, my good lord, elixir H for your heal. No turret heal, oh my good lord. And also elixir U, elixir S, elixir X. It's got loads of elixirs. Elixirs are pretty easy to use. This is all about your weapon abilities. It's all about you throwing your nades. It's all about the Holosmith. It's not really about, obviously you making sure you use those elixirs at the right time. This build is about inflicting vulnerability. CC. You can prevent tons of damage on yourself by blocking, by using that shield, by blinding, with not only with grenades, but with the explosive trait line. You got different things like that. You got the CC coming up for elixir X as well. Blocks, CC with the old shield, like I said. You got CC with Holosmith. There's loads of stuff going on in this build. It's pretty damn fun. I'm trying to learn it more myself because I'm not the best at being the most offensive. I'd like to have a little bit of support in there, but this relies upon you doing a lot of damage. Okay. This has been touted as I'm doing the finger thing. You know what I'm talking about. As a duelist / team fighter. Which is fair to say, I would say. You can hold your own on a point for a fair while. You can probably kill him as well. But in team fights, those nades and grenades in a team fight are bloody amazing. Okay, so let's go through the rest of the build, and we can maybe see why. So, Berserkers is giving us, obviously, don't forget that Berserkers is just damage, okay? There's no HP there. It's power, precision, ferocity. All damage, all day. Rune of the Revenant as well on the 6 piece gives you you gain 2 seconds of resistance after using a healing skill as well. Which I think is a lot to do with the fact that you have not got your turret heal, I would say. This is probably the reason why Xana or other people are using that. Whether or not they do go back to the turret, I'm not too sure. Low cooldown as well, 20 seconds. Don't forget. And the reason that is because, you check, we'll check in a minute, Alchemy, you got reduced cooldown. Also, you get through Alchemy, Alchemy as a trait line, you get tons of extra things. You get regen, you get swiftness, you get might, you get protection as well. Grenade kit, don't forget, grenades are awesome. Poison, so remember, you want to always slap that poison down on your targets because it reduces healing by 33% effectiveness. Don't forget things like freeze grenade as well. You know, that negative skill recharge rate is really, really good, including the movement speed as well. Also, you get things like flash grenade, which inflicts blindness. You know, remembering that mitigates damage. You know, because they're not doing it because it's a blind. And while you're using any of these, you inflict vulnerability as well. Bleeding, always nice to have a little bit of an extra dot as well. And then you've got, you know, your standard grenades, and these two do most of your damage. To be fair, out of anything. If you have a look at the base damage, although that gives some nice base damage, to be fair, but these two, this is the biggest, and this is your spamming. Or if you're in melee range, you know, Holosmith as well. So when you're not in Holosmith, you can go to range and you can use that. Sword shield is really about your defense, to be fair. And then if we have a look back over here, don't forget you do get quickness. 3.25 second quickness when you're over 100 heat. Of course, we've got the 3 bars of heat and 100. And the heat's over here. There you go. Just this bar. I wish that was maybe a little bit more obvious. It's more obvious when you're in Holosmith, of course. Don't forget, same. You get additional blades over different heat levels as well with the 2. So make sure you're using those optimally. Of course, shield. So electrify your shield, preparing to throw it at enemy foes. If you're hit, the shield discharges, stunning your enemy. So remember, don't forget. Remember, you can block. Also, you can stun your enemy if they do attack you. Also, don't forget about the shield on the first shield ability. Sorry, you can do a knockback, or you can just create a magnetic field that reflects projectiles and can be released to push back foes. Okay, so that is your reflect, and then obviously the knockback. There you go, right there, right there. Okay, right damn well there. Let's just kill this guy. Why not? If I die, I'm gonna start the video again. There's some really good like cleave as well. Look at the damage. My lord. Even that poison was like 300 or 400. Don't forget you got safe stomp as well. Look at that. It's already dead. Remember, you got your safe stomp. Stability is a little bit of a beast to get hold of. Although to be fair, in this build, elixir you get that 2 stack of stability on 4 seconds. Not too bad. All right. That's a stun break. That's a stun break. Okay, don't forget about that. Let me just turn the volume down on this. Don't forget that I do this all live. So it's always good to change your volume and stuff. Alright, let's go through the build and actually like have a look at some of this stuff because it's important to do so. Oh, what an awesome glider skin. Punching. Okay, so first of all, going for explosives. So your first attack explodes, dealing extra damage to nearby enemies. Vulnerability. So this is obviously important because it's grenades. Grenadier, increase the throwing velocity and blast radius of your grenades. Using a healing skill, casts lesser grenade barrage. So you actually get lesser grenade barrage more often because your heal is actually 20 seconds, I guess. Although to be fair, healing turret, it's 20 seconds as well. I keep forgetting about that. I don't know why I said that earlier. Low cooldown. I mean, it's, you know, and it gives you the things like you get that cleanse and you get the area AoE blast. So I don't know. Sometimes this is all self heal. You know. Yeah, we'll go through the build and you'll see. So good. Explosions cause vulnerability. Blast shield. Explosive entrance grants barrier. Gain vitality based on the percentage of your power, and this is why your HP is quite low. So if we take low, why you call it HP is quite high. We got 1,200 power there, 18,900 HP. Let's take that off, and you lose 2k HP. Boom. Good stuff. So pretty self-explanatory, to be fair. And don't forget as well, explosive entrance, your first attack when you are entering combat, explodes, dealing damage to nearby foes. This ability refreshes after a dodge roll. Okay? And guess what? It blinds people. Okay? So that is why, again, another reason why you've got energy as one of your sigils. You're gaining back energy so you can dodge. So even if you're not just dodging an ability, you're being effective. So even with people like me who, you know, like to just randomly dodge, which just happens sometimes, you are able to put out some blinds as well, which is going to help at least other people if it's not helping you potentially, especially if you're in a team fight. Good shiznit, okay? Lovely. Deal more damage for each stack of vulnerability on your target. More damage. Good, good, good. Flashbang. Explosive entrance inflicts blindness which hits when hits. Additionally, it dazes foes above the health threshold. Very awesome, okay? Very awesome indeed. Remember, when I talk about this, oh good lord. It's in combination, of course, with this. So I'm kind of looking at this blue here. Oh, good lord. Looks at the blue, and I kind of made a tiny error when explaining that. But that, in addition, gives the blind. And the stun is very awesome as well. The daze, sorry. Good lord. And this is why I can't do two things at once. I'm a typical man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Get down. Jesus. This random guy just getting res now. It's okay. I'll res you. Let me just rub the ground here for you. It's all good. Sorry, I got distracted. So having a look again at this. So explosive entrance, your first attack when you're entering explodes, dealing damage to nearby foes. This ability refreshes after a dodge roll. So this over here, this is an addition to this. So you know the blue is augments for your abilities and traits and stuff. Whenever you see blue, that's because something's changed or been added. Sorry. It's normally for the better, of course. So yeah, the making sure you dodge to get those blindness, and also again that daze is very good. Good, kind of interrupts as well. The blindness is very good versus things like lich form, high damage dealers. If you've got a ton of evade, ton of vigor and energy, just regen, you're able to put out a ton of blinds and avoid a lot of damage, and that's one of the big strengths of this build. And then if you don't have that, you can pull out things like flash grenade to blind them or whatever, which is really, really good. So ta-da. And obviously your heal is going to give you regen, it's going to give you swiftness, protection, all that kind of stuff. So there's nice mitigation. There's not much toughness in this, and that's a problem. So you want to think about that versus power builds. You want to try and get your protection out when you can. That's mainly from your heal as well, by the looks of things. And also Elixir S gives you a lot of mitigation, obviously, because you've got vulnerability as well. Remember, when you're on a cap, does stop your capture point contribution, so just be careful when you're using that, otherwise you might lose a cap or something. It's okay. As my voice prepares to actually go, let's do this quick. Alchemy, not really brain science here. We've gone over this a million times. Drink elixir B when you strike below the health threshold. Protection, obviously, protection injection. 30 seconds 30 seconds cooldown, sorry, on your traits, don't forget, when you're disabled, which is still very, very good. It's still the best option really here. You could go for this. When you gain swiftness, you also gain vigor. This is something which you could do, in all honesty. When you heal, you're gonna get swiftness. When you're in Holosmith, you're gonna get swiftness. It really depends, because you're quite squishy. So this is only every 30 seconds, but that's every fight pretty much, and that could really be a lifesaver. This, if you want to blind more, I would say you could try it. I would say try it, give it a bash, see how you feel. You'll be squishier, but it might be fun. Quaff on elixir, converting conditions into boons. Self-explanatory, 8-second cooldown. Drink elixir C when you reach a threshold of conditions affecting you, so that's 2, and that's every 80 seconds. Elixir E, gain barrier and protection, again, not massive brace, 80-second cooldown as well. Protection obviously mitigates, you've got 33% minus incoming damage, and then you've got compounding chemicals, heal yourself when you grant yourself a boon, and that happens quite a lot because you've got a lot of elixirs here as well. They're giving you boons. So elixirs gain reduced recharge and increased durations, and grant might as well. So you got 3 seconds of might granted on all your elixirs, and that's, you've got all 4 here. Pretty good. I'm liking it. So what else are we doing? We've got Holosmith. No crazy differences here, to be fair. You've got prismatic converse, and when you come out of your Holosmith when your Photon Forge form, you cleanse conditions depending on what heat you're at. Obviously, higher heat, more conditions you will dispense or get away off of you. Go away now. Heat therapy, gain health per unit of health lost. So this trait does not can function while cooling due to no heat, blah, blah, blah. So heal per unit of heat, 39. Cool, okay, self-explanatory again. This is good. Crystal configuration, Zephyr. Holy Leap removes movement impairing conditions, grants super speed instead of swiftness, and inflicts cripple. There you go. What ability is that? Holo Leap. Lovely. Where is it? Second ability on your Photon Forge. It's right there. It's got all the information there as well because it's been augmented by the traits. It's in blue. So if you ever have any worries about what you're trying to do in the game and you want to just have a look at your abilities and remind yourself, have a little click over. Have a little reminder, you know, sometimes. New builds especially, it's always good. Go over the builds, have a look, you know, what's changing. Okay, cool. I've actually got vulnerability on there now as well. Forgot about that. You know, it's just good to remind yourself, you know, I've got extra regen. I'm going to get swiftness if I need extra swiftness there as well. And I need a heal script rather than getting into Photon Forge. I can just use my heal, then get into Photon Forge maybe. Who knows? Up to you. Whatever. Laser's Edge. While Photon Forge is active, your outgoing damage is increased based on your current heat. Of course. Remember, if you want to maximize that damage, go for the higher heat. Okay. There you go. And then last but not least, increases maximum heat capacity by 1 more bar, while above 100%. Periodically gain might. Some skills and traits gain additional heat tiers, which we've obviously had a look at. Very, very briefly, of course. Additional blades over 100% heat. There you go. You get the extra 4. You get the 2 for the over 50% heat. And if you have a look, obviously in Photon Forge as well, there's different things. Actually, there's not different things at all, which are going to change there. So Jebro can shush. But through the traits and everything else, wicked. It's normally through some of the utilities, like where is it? Heat threshold, things like photon wall, as well as hardline arena, other things like that as well, and obviously spectrum shield. But there's a few abilities there depending on heat. You might want to use at different heat levels. Otherwise, that's the build. Okay, I'm going to give you some gameplay, and I'm going to try and talk my way through it soon. Okay, but this is just the build for now, and it's just some explanation. So there's a lot of dodging to create opportunities where you can evade damage in terms of blinding. You can block, you can reflect, you can CC, you can do close, you can be close, and you can be very, very close in Photon Forge, of course. And that's going to be great, obviously, for that melee combat, but it's versatile, this build, very versatile, because you can jump into grenades, you know, you can bash down. There's loads of places in the map where this is going to be so good, and the range is far. You know, this is quite far for someone to try and come in onto you, you know, especially if they're a melee class, if they're like a Reaper or something like that. It's going to be tough for them to do that, and we're seeing more Reapers day by day now. And, you know, if you want to get in to finish, you know, or you're on the point, you've still got Photon Forge like that. You've still obviously got things like, you know, grenade barrage that you can use at close range. You want to make sure, you know, grabbing those nades and just pretty much getting as much damage in this very, very, you know, close to you as well, just in those team fights, like dipping between, you know, Photon Forge and going for those grenades depending on what you need, you know, blinds, CC with your Photon Forge, you know, you've got poison through your grenade, which you can just chuck down when they're trying to res or anything like that. Make sure, you know, you're chucking down that cleave, because you're not only just putting poison down and damage, you're putting vulnerability, which is going to increase damage for your team while they're trying to go for the cleave. So, you know, things like grenade kit, it's just always been fun and good, but like depending on the meta, it's just been like, you know, what you opt for. Like grenades is not a thing for, I mean, it helps with survival and utility, but it's not, you know, a block, or it's not CC, or it's not like, you know, and something which is gonna give you boons or give you stability or give you something to help you get out of a fight, specifically other than like a blind or a chill, which you can use for utility. Anyway, there's loads of things that I could say, but what I'm going to say is goodbye for now. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Have you been playing this build? Did you enjoy watching it being played? What do you think of it? I didn't create this. I'm just making a little bit of a guide for it. Very basic. I've been Jebro. Thanks so much for watching. Take care. Be safe. I hope you're good. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. And don't forget, if you want to have these builds videos early, join the Patreon. $5 tier. See you soon. Link in the description.